So one of the hardest things about running a business solo is keeping yourself accountable. And when there's only you in the business and there's only you that's driving things forward, it can be a little bit difficult at times to obviously keep yourself doing the things that you need to be doing every single day for you to achieve your goals. And it's something that I've definitely struggled with in all the time I've been running my business, and especially this week. So I mean, there's definitely worse places that I could be, and I'm gonna have to be a bit careful as well where I point my camera, because I've just figured out yesterday that this beach that I keep doing these videos on is actually a nudist beach. So there's plenty of tackle flying about. I won't be partaking, but yeah. So anyway, it's this week has been the first week that me and my wife have been away working abroad, and keeping myself accountable to my daily tasks has been something that I've been really concentrating on. But what I decided at the start of this year was to reach out to my network of people and ask if anyone would be up for working together as accountability partners. And luckily for me, a really nice chap called Nick, who just so happens to live at the complete opposite end of the world to me in Australia, decided he'd be up for it. And next week we're going to be getting started on our accountability partner calls, where we're going to be doing that every single week, and we're going to be keeping each other held to account, holding the mirror up to each other on a weekly basis, and making sure that we both stick into the daily tasks and the things that we need to be doing individually for our own businesses to keep us moving in the direction that we're obviously aiming for in 2026. It's something that I think is going to be really, really beneficial to me and to Nick as well. And for me, it's all about having that in the back of my head, that every single week I'm going to be turning up to this call on a Thursday morning, and if I haven't hit the targets that I've set myself for that week, I'm going to look a bit of a tit. So that in itself is what is going to drive us forward and help us to reach these big goals that we've both got. I've got big goals, Nick's got big goals, and I think it's going to be really, really beneficial. But I think as a small business owner, obviously when you sat there in your office at home, or you might be lucky enough to be able to work from a beach like this, like I am this year, sticking to those daily things when life gets in the way or your client delivery work gets in the way can be really, really taxing. But ultimately, we can set those huge goals for ourselves at the start of a year, like I'm sure many of you guys have. I know I have talked about it on some previous videos that I've uploaded recently. Without doing the daily tasks every single day to actually get us towards that goal, you're never ever going to achieve that. And I think doing it alone, you really don't have to do it alone. I mean, most of us have got somebody in our network that if you actually reached out to them and said, on a mutually beneficial sort of relationship, and said, hey, you've got goals, I've got goals, do you fancy teaming up and helping each other achieve those? If you were to reach out to your network of people, I'm pretty sure that there'll be somebody in there who's in a similar position to you and would probably jump at the chance. Now, for me, I decided to reach out to the wider network of people that I know, as opposed to, say, for instance, asking my wife to keep me to account, which she does a very good job of, let me tell you. But sometimes it's good to have somebody external who's maybe not even a friend. You know, you want somebody who's not directly linked to you in such a close way that they won't hold the mirror up to you, or they'll be maybe too nicey with you and let you get away with things and let things slip. which is ultimately what we tend to do from a personal point of view. I do it all the time where I think I'll just do them calls tomorrow, or I'll just send them DMs on LinkedIn next week instead of doing it today. And then eventually tomorrow becomes the next day and the next day, and before you know it, you've got absolutely nowhere towards your goals. So I'm actually looking forward to working with Nick. I'm looking forward to having that little bit of a kick up the bum from somebody external to me. Nick's also a web developer like I am. He's a solo business owner like I am, and he's very much on the same sort of journey as I am as well. So we both kind of know each other's positions in terms of that side of things, which will be good. And rather than me having to rely on myself to keep myself motivated and to keep myself on track, which is difficult to do, I know in the back of my head that I've got kind of somebody watching over me, and I don't want to be the one that's going to be turning up on a Thursday saying I hadn't had time to do this, or I've not been able to do that, making excuses, which is really, really easy to do when you work on your own. So if you've got some big goals this year and you may be a little bit worried about if you're going to be able to hit them yourself, don't sit there thinking that just because you work on your own you have to do it alone, because you really don't. There will be somebody within your network who you can reach out to, who's probably also really, really sort of in need of that bit of accountability and that bit of guidance, that'd jump at the chance of working with you in a mutually beneficial way. So we're going to see how it goes for the next 90 days. First call's on Thursday next week, and we've both set out a bit of a tracker that we're going to keep each other to account on each week, and it'll basically be, this is what my overall goals are, these are the specific steps that I need to take every single day or every single week to actually get there. And then at the end of the week on a Thursday, we'll be sitting down together and saying, yep, you've hit that, yep, you've overachieved on that, or no, you haven't, why is it that you haven't done that, and what can we do next week to make sure that you actually hit those targets. So don't do it alone. If you're struggling to hit your goals, if you're struggling in your business and you want it to go in an even better direction this year, honestly reach out and get yourself an accountability partner. Doesn't even have to be somebody who does the same thing as you. Could just be somebody who's on a similar sort of path to you. It just needs to be somebody who isn't going to be scared to give you the hard truths. It's got to be somebody who's not going to be scared to hold the mirror up to yourself. And it's also got to be somebody who's motivated just as you are to actually get to their own goals, because ultimately there's no point having an accountability partner who's going to hold you back because they're not doing their side of things. So give it a go. Again, like all these videos that I've done over the last few days, I'm going to be doing more videos around these sort of topics and tracking my sort of progress. The whole point of these videos now for me going forward is that I can look back in 12, 18 months time and think, you know, on that Saturday morning in Forteventura when I said about the accountability stuff, that's where I was then. 12 months later, this is where I am now, and it's all thanks to that accountability side of things. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It'd really, really help. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this. I'm also going to be aiming to do a video a day, if possible, for this channel. And it's all going to be about mapping my journey in terms of me taking my small business to a better place this year and seeing how I get on personally as a small business owner. So I'd love for you to all come along on the ride. And again, as always, drop a comment below, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And by the way, I've got a newsletter as well. The link's in my description. So if you want to sign up to that, because it's really, really good, do so. And I'll see you on the next video.